There you are. Welcome back. We had promised that we were having live in studio Professor Elijah Omwenga, who is the Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Kenya. Prof, I want to thank you really for joining us.
Thank you, Tom, for
Asante sana.
hosting me here.
Asante sana.
Thank you.
Now, I want us to start off by, you know, if you look at the past, there was, the distant learning, which depended heavily on the postal system, students, receiving reading materials from wherever, college, university out there, laboring through that material, taking cards and sending them back through the same postal system. And of course, then the long wait begins. But today, that has evolved, and we are seeing a lot of these things being done at the click of the button. So, as the Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Kenya, walk us through what you think the public needs to know. What is Open University of Kenya? Why is it, such a game changer?
Thank you so much, Tom, for having me in the studio. My name is Elijah Omwenga. I'm a professor of computer science. As I've already said, I'm the acting Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Kenya. And the university has got structures. We have the Chancellor, Dr. James Mwangi, and the Chairman of Council, Professor Ezra Maritim, with his team.
Yeah.
Now, the question you asked is a very important one for this show.
Yeah.
Distance learning has been around for many years, decades and decades. In this country, the Kikuyu campus of the University of Nairobi hosted distance learning in the country, and several of our Kenyans within and outside the country went through that program. Yes, as you rightly put it, the history tells us that the days when materials were being prepared and sent by post, and a long wait for results or assignment to be done and responses given.
Yeah.
That tended to demotivate learners and also increase the period within which they graduate or finish their programs. But we have transitioned from that period. Now we are talking about online learning, or e-learning, as you may want to call it,
Yeah.
or as others want to say, University Mkononi,
Yeah.
or learning on your smartphone. In the pocket. So that now we are leveraging technology, which helps us not only to enable access of our high quality programs, but also to help us in developing quality state-of-the-art materials or programs or content for delivery. Interactive content is critical in terms of enabling the learner to reduce the curve of mastery of the content, because then you have motivated learners. You walk the journey with this learner using various educational assets or techniques which are already in the market out there, pedagogically sound techniques to ensure that effective learning takes place using technology. So we have transitioned from the era of post to now using technology, which reduces the curve and the period within which the learners are able to access and get feedback from the lecturers or their tutors.
Okay.
Yes.
One of the goals, of course, for a university like yours, an open university, is to provide Kenyans with, access.
Yes.
To higher learning. I think you got the charter sometime last year.
Yes, August.
In
3rd.
August, isn't it?
Yes.
So, what's the status of that university to date?
Yeah, thank you, Tom, for that very good question. The university, the Open University of Kenya, was chartered on the 3rd of August 2023, last year, by His Excellency the President, in a very colorful ceremony at Konza Technopolis, the seat of the university. And the university eschews the tenets of openness. Openness here is in terms of the criteria used for admission. You may realize that in Kenya today, the admission criteria cuts off at C+. But the Open University now has opened opportunities for many students, and that is the second tenet of openness, which is inclusivity. So that you have students from all walks of life or potential learners coming to the university based on their prior learning or experience on the job besides their academic qualifications.
Okay.
And the third, of course, is access. Access because you're using technology to enable as many as possible to access the content. And affordability. The university, Open University of Kenya, is also an affordable university, charging a moderate or even a quarter to 1/3 of what the conventional universities are charging. At the moment, the university was chartered just last year. We embarked on a very ambitious journey to develop the various instruments to establish the university. The policies, the guideline, the technology required, the ERP Enterprise Resource Planning System that hosts the learning materials which had been developed, which we continue to improve. That was quite a very serious exercise. And all the other structures that are required for a university to thrive. And I'm glad to say that within the short period of time, the university opened its doors to students in November 30th of last year. And now we have a strong, about 900 students in class learning. We are offering 7 flagship programs. Out of the 1,940 students who applied to come to the university. And these are already enrolled, the bona fide students of the university, being tutored or taken through the programs that we have developed using highly qualified staff. So the journey for establishing a university is generally very
good.
It's very long, but the Open University of Kenya has kind of cut that long journey into a very small fraction thanks to the support we are getting from the government and the council and a very dedicated staff who are ready to go an extra mile to do what is required of us in order to establish the university and set it on good footing within a short period of time.
And just for the sake of some viewers, you see the cutoff points into the traditional university, I think, is a C+.
A C+.
So what you're saying is somebody with a C-,
yes,
somebody with a C+, somebody with a D.
Yes.
The Open University of Kenya can grant them admission.
Yes, and we have, thank you for that very important question. The university has established an admission criteria that is flexible, recognizing that flexibility and inclusivity, which is part of our constitutional process. And the criteria is such that if you didn't get the cutoff of
the
C+, but you have over time filled the gap, the knowledge gap required for a program, such as workplace experience or a short course that you may have engaged in since your last KCSE or any other qualification, or experience which is spanning a period of about 3 months, sometimes even longer, and is relevant to the program of interest, then you can be considered and given admission to join the Open University. This is in recognition of prior learning. Prior learning is one of those liberating issues that has happened in the world today, even recognized by SDGs and other international bodies, that once a student has done an exam and didn't perform to the expectations requiring direct entry to the university, and that student or that learner has over time mastered the content which is required to enable the student go through the rigors of that degree program, then that must be recognized. Think about a Juakali person who scored a C minus and is able to mold, or rather make excellent Jokali items using the knowledge he or she has acquired over time, and even the experience and kind of entrepreneurial experience that one has mastered over time. And that particular person has now the opportunity to come to the university and make it formal. We recognize that experience, especially if that student has some form of qualification to show that you have gone through some short program over time.
Okay, well, and it's good to hear that. Of course, there's been, there's this constant debate that certain courses, and I know that you have your flagship courses, I know you'll mention a little later on, are not tailored to the market needs. So in terms of efficacy and relevance, I just want to know what the Open University of Kenya is doing to produce fit-for-purpose graduates. Because we are seeing a lot of some people feel that we are heavy consumers of knowledge. Others feel we need now to be focused on producing emerging knowledge, etc., etc. So what are you doing, as a university to produce fit-for-purpose graduates?
Thank you, Tom, for that question. The fit-for-purpose graduate starts from the time of development or identification of the programs. A program is a set of courses that one follows in order to graduate with a certain set of credentials, such as a degree program, a postgraduate, master's, or PhD. So at the time of identification of the programs that the university wants to develop, you have to do a market survey. What is it that the country needs? What do the young people, for example, need in order to help them be highly skilled and useful to the society?
How aligned?
Exactly. How aligned
are those courses?
The courses with the market, the industry, and the job market, or even self-employment. We just don't look at employment, but also self-employment. Secondly, we look at the quality of these programs by developing them to the highest standards that we can afford. Good programs are those that are interactive in nature when they are offered the student. They are available on the multiple platforms and capabilities that we are able to marshal. And quality programs enable the student to go through the content at own pace and even repetitively. And also use various assets, we call them educational assets, or various types of objects to develop this content, so that the student is able to pick the knowledge within a period that is not too long. And also the assessment. We do what we call authentic assessment. Authentic assessment enables us to assess the mastery of knowledge by testing the knowledge the student has gained using a multiplicity of methods, so that it's not just filling a question and answering yes, no. We want to have case studies where the student is able to produce cases of the knowledge that you have gained. We want to test your discussion forum through e-portfolios. E-portfolios is a record of what the student has done over time, and using that record you're able to gauge the mastery of content of this particular learner. That's authentic assessment, away from the so-called classical question and answer where you get it right or wrong and you leave it there. But here you are testing the deeper understanding, the deeper meaning of the content that you are giving the student.
And by the way, as we wind up, do these students have, do they get scholarships, for example?
Scholarships, well, right now,
as we wind up,
scholarships could be available. But at the moment, we are amassing our partnerships and collaborations so that once we have partners with us, then the students will be able to access these scholarships. But the Higher Education Loans Board and the Funding Board, both of them are supporting our students. If your student has been admitted and he or she applies for a loan, that student will be given a loan, he qualifies. If he or she applies for higher education fund and you meet the mean testing instrument criteria, that student will be given an opportunity. But you asked me something about the flagship programs. Maybe I can touch on that very briefly. Yes, our flagship programs include data science, a very important program that has attracted the highest number of students because we are producing a lot of data right now in the country and beyond, and we need to make meaning out of that data.
So data science, monetize.
There is cybersecurity because there is entrepreneurship and business, economics and statistics. And statistics, Bachelor of Technology Education, postgraduate diploma in learning design and technology, and postgraduate diploma in leadership and accountability. Yet another very exciting program.
Exciting one. I want to thank you. You know, we need more time to discuss. We can't exhaust it in 10, 15 minutes, but I want to thank you most profoundly, Professor Elijah Omwenga, the Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Kenya. He made time to be with us on the day that King Charles was diagnosed with cancer, and those are reports that are coming through from the Buckingham Palace. Of course, the king, we are made to understand, remains wholly positive about his treatment, which began Monday, that's today, at the Buckingham Palace. So on behalf of the team in the back end, I want to thank you so much for watching Prime Edition. Remember, tomorrow, same time, same place, I will be back. Good night. My name is Mboya. Bye-bye.